Good morning, good morning, good morning. Wake up, everybody. Live and direct from sunny Barbados in the Caribbean. I'm going to be teaching everybody today about the importance of living benefits. You're probably saying, what are living benefits? So that's where you're going to take out your pens, your paper, and you're going to learn something that most people have never been taught today. Wake up, everybody. Let's get it. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And hopefully, this is not a screensaver in the background. All right.
All
Wake up,
right,
everyone. Welcome, welcome.
here we go.
Welcome, welcome, everyone.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Wake up, everybody. Good morning. It's a great morning. And yes, I'm live from sunny Barbados here to teach you guys about the power of living benefits. So I'm going to share my story here, right? And basically let you understand why I wish my family knew about living benefits. All right. So I'm just waiting for, yep, there we go. So pretty much I'm going to take this all the way back to 2009, right? I'm going to share why I'm in this business and why what happened to me, I don't want to happen to anyone here. And what happened to my family to happen to your family. So in life, we all know that life can be great and everything is going well. And in this situation, my mom, she was alive at the time. And this is my sister who graduated from Ivy League college. She was proud that her three kids are doing very well. My brother's an engineer, and that we were all at her college graduation that day, right? But then life tends to happen, and it happens when it's unexpected, right? Next slide, please. The following year, after that beautiful graduation, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. So let me paint the picture for everybody. During this time, my mother was the breadwinner in the family. So I don't know if anybody here is the breadwinner in their family, but there's always that person that's the breadwinner. Now, my mom did not anticipate getting sick with cancer at the time, right? But guess what? When she was sick, she couldn't work. She was in the bedridden, right? Because of all the chemo, the radiation, right? It broke my heart. At this time, this was the hardest time in my life. Now, she had some properties. And the thing about it, I was not in a position, my family was not in a position to take on those 5 properties that had mortgages on them. Okay? So this was the most stressful time of my life, financially and emotionally. Next slide, please. So I'm going to share more of my family history. So the picture on the upper left-hand side, that is my grandmother, and she had diabetes. Now, when she had diabetes, it turned into something called neuropathy. And because of neuropathy, that means that the blood is not clotting properly. So when you get a cut, normally it clots and the cut will heal, right? But when you have neuropathy, the blood does not clot and it continues to, let's say, bleed out, for lack of better words. So they had to amputate her legs because it was turning gangrene. Okay? So that's why she has a blue blanket over there. The next picture is my father, who was a Vietnam War veteran. Salute to any veterans in the house, right? Thank you for your service. In this picture, he came back from the war. He had PTSD. And not only did he have PTSD, which is a mental problem, he also had schizophrenia. And also he had a stroke in that picture. When he had a stroke, the left side of your brain affects the right side, and the right side affects the left side of your brain, right? So that's why he's walking with his hand and a cane there. Because if you heard of what happened to Jamie Foxx, same thing. He had to recover from a stroke. Now, the picture on the lower backhand side, the lower side on the right, my father had high cholesterol. And because of the high cholesterol, which clogged his arteries, which then led to him having a fatal heart attack. Okay? So during this time, he couldn't work. Okay? Just like, because nobody anticipates ever getting sick, right? Then the picture on the lower left-hand side, that was the last time that I actually had a physical conversation with my mom. That was in February of 2011. Actually, it was Valentine's Day. That's why she was wearing red. Now, the thing is, she had lost so much weight due to the chemotherapy, the radiation, right? And she lost about 80 to 90 pounds there. Now, here's a question why I'm bringing up and showing my situation, right? My family history. Can anybody in here, do you think my mother, my father, and my grandmother loved me? Yes, they loved me dearly, right? Now, here's the thing. Do you think my mother, my grandmother, and my father anticipated getting sick, meaning getting cancer, getting diabetes, getting a stroke or a heart attack? Do you think they anticipated that? Now, here's the thing that we don't talk about. I want somebody to guess. What do you think the cost of all of these medical bills, right? Can anybody guess that number? How much you think, with me showing you my family history, all of those medical bills, how much you think that costs? Can anybody put in the chat? I want you to tell me, how much do you think all those medical bills cost? Okay, I'm seeing 3 million. I'm seeing 10 to 20,000. I wish it was 10 to 20,000. Anybody else can guess? I want to know, what number do you think all of those medical bills cost?
90,000.
Somebody said 90,000. I wish it was 90,000. All right. So the closest answer was actually Shawnee's answer, even though it was 2 million above what it really was. All of that medical debt there was $1 million, guys. $1 million. Okay? And guess what? Even though you have health insurance, do you think your health insurance covers everything? Because what happens if you're bedridden in a hospital for, like my mom, over a year? Or my father, who stayed in there for 6 months? Or my grandmother, who had to be transferred to a medical facility that had to have 24-hour care. Okay? So that's the reason why it totaled up $1 million. Just my mother's cancer treatments alone was over $500,000, right? So I say all of this because, like I said, they love me. But do you think they intended to get sick and leave me, my brother, and sister with $1 million in medical debt? Because if they pass away, which eventually they did, do you think that medical debt goes away? Anybody think that medical debt goes away? No, it does not go away. It gets passed down. Okay? So this is why I'm here to share with you all the power of living benefits, because we don't know the power of this, right? Next slide, please. Now, is anybody aware that 60% of all bankruptcies, Chapter 7s in the entire United States of America are due to critical illness and the medical expenses that follow them? And everything that I shared with you was a terminal illness and a critical illness. Did anybody know that people had to sell their homes because of medical debt? Because let's look at the stats. We have uninsured people, we have underinsured people in America, right? And even if you do have good insurance, I'm letting you know it doesn't cover everything. Okay? So this is where having something like what I'm about to talk to you will help you with that gap, so you can keep your houses, you can keep your assets, right? So there's a poll. I want to ask everybody. Have any of you experienced maybe a stroke? Has anybody in your family ever had cancer? Has anybody here had a heart attack? Has anybody here suffered with Alzheimer's or dementia or any critical, chronic, or terminal illness? Or if you haven't had that experience, do you know somebody that went through that experience? And my question to everybody is, how did that affect your family? How did that affect your family? So I want to know, has anybody ever had a stroke, cancer, heart attack, if it was you personally, or if you know somebody within your family that ever had this? Because the statistics show that it will happen in most of our families.
All right, let me share with the community. We have there's 11 of us in here, so one out of 11 of us have responded to the poll. So just encouraging folks to look for the poll and respond to the question. I see 2 people. Come on, family. It's a yes or no answer, so it's really, really quick. If you're able, I see y'all are chiming in. Thank you. Appreciate you. So let's keep hearing from folk and seeing what the answer is. Let me see who's up in here. So Asia and Beulah and Chrissy, and I'm not sure if that's Sawadi or Angele on the Disruptor Dow piece, Monja, Professor Marilyn, DJ Rachel, and C. Anybody else? Have you experienced yourself or family members heart attack, Alzheimer's, stroke, critical or chronic terminal illness, or do you know someone who has? I see folks are chiming in. Thank you. So I'm going to end the poll. Thank y'all for your participation. And David, you can see what folks are saying.
Okay.
I shared the results.
All right. So, like I know, most of you said that you know somebody or have experienced it personally that had stroke, cancer, heart attack, Alzheimer's. Now, here's the thing. If that was you and you're the breadwinner in your family and you had a stroke, like what happened to Jamie Foxx, he was out for a year. He couldn't work, right? But luckily for Jamie Foxx, he had millions of dollars so that he was able, when he was able to work again, he can come back. But here's the reality. Most of us don't have millions of dollars lying around in the case of any of these things ever happen to us, a stroke, cancer, or anything happen to us. So what will you think will happen, right, in your family if this ever happened to you? Most of us will have to sell our homes or we pass on that debt down to our children's children. Okay? So here's the thing. We're gonna go to the next slide,
Sure.
please.
And David, we haven't heard a voice from anyone. You've asked these like really major questions. So just want to check in with the community. If you answered the question, yes, you've experienced that. What was that like? Or if there's any reaction to David's story about the family members and the layers of medical trauma and experience that they've had. So anybody want to share really quickly? Because we haven't heard another voice in the space since we started. Raise your digital hand. No
Don't
pressure.
be scared, everybody in the
Rachel.
family.
Yeah. This ain't a
All
scary
right.
group, though. Go ahead, Rachel.
Notes. They taking notes.
Yep.
So
Oh, Rachel raised
here's the good news.
Rachel raised her hand.
Okay.
Rachel, you
Good morning,
okay.
blessings. Thank you for this conversation. We're actually we're being faced with a lot of people that have experienced whether death by something, but medical bills especially. One of my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend at 44 years old, 44, and also my ex at 45 was diagnosed with bone cancer and left family with a lot of bills. So yeah, this is a real thing, and it needs to be a conversation, not just here, but in all spaces, because like you said, they love their family, but they left them with the burden of trying to figure it out, and it's like a generational thing, and I'm complete.
And thank you for sharing, Rachel. And just so you can give context, if you don't mind, do you know how much medical debt because of that bone cancer that left that family? I don't know if you know those numbers, because cancer is one of the most expensive medical debt out here.
Yeah. So I mean, if you said 500,000, my ex was dealing with cancer for, I want to say, 5 years before he transitions. So I could only imagine with the chemo and the in and out, and he was going to the best hospital at that, which is Mount Sinai.
Mm,
Um, yeah, so I could only imagine. I can't put a number to it, but it was a journey of chemo and radiation and medication, and also he had developed his kidneys also failed, so he was also on what do you call it, dialysis
dialysis.
3 times a week. Yeah, and that was prior to being diagnosed of cancer. So yeah, it was a long journey.
Wow. And just to let you know, these things here are real, ladies and gentlemen. And I just want everybody here to be prepared, right? Because it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And I wish the information that you all are getting, I wish my mother, my family knew about this information because it's been there, but we just never had it. Okay. So I'm going to share the rest here, and then we're going to go into what is living benefits.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm putting up the slide now. Thank you, Rachel, too.
All right. So the good news is, well, after 2 years, 2 years, my mother struggled and tried to fight the cancer, but unfortunately, she transitioned March 5th, 2011, and it's actually now 14 years since my mom passed away. Now, the thing about it, she did have life insurance like most of us. Most of us, well, half of us, because the statistics show that for Black people, only 40 to 45% have insurance and 55% doesn't. But for the most part, we do, right? For those who do, the thing about it, she didn't have the type, she had the old type of insurance. She did not have the new type, which is what I'm sharing with you. Okay. So I want you all to now, if you want to ever do a policy review, to make sure that you have living benefits in your policies, please, please, please book a time with me so that we can make sure that you have living benefits included so we can upgrade your policy to have that. So thank God my mom had life insurance, but this is the type of insurance that she had. Next slide, please. So even though my mom had a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, my sister, she went to an Ivy League school. What I'm sharing with you was not taught in any school, okay? And I think it's purposely done. But anyway, let's go. Next slide, please. So here is it right here. When most people think about life insurance, they only think about it from a death perspective, right? So that means if you pass away, then your family gets the death benefit. But most people don't know that living benefits, that a lot of insurance policies, especially the policies that I have and sell, have living benefits included, which is the new type. It's like, you know, how we have old cars that didn't have air conditioning in the back in the days, believe it or not, and now they have air conditioning, right? Or we had cars that, you know, had maybe an 8-track, but then they upgraded it to a CD player, right? Or now we have new cars that have MP3s and, you know, things like that, and the cars have internet, right? Because things have changed and upgraded. You need to have the upgrade. So here's what living benefits are, right? So if you have a chronic, terminal, or critical illness, so I'm going to break down all of this for you, right? So a terminal illness is if you ever were diagnosed, let's say with a tumor or aneurysm or anything like that, where the doctor says you only have 24 months or less to live, like with my mom, the insurance policy will pay the death benefit while you're alive. Now, why is that crucial? Because if my mom had that type of policy, instead of me waiting 2 years until she transitioned and had to struggle to pay the mortgages and try to keep the sacrifices that she made together, we wouldn't struggle financially. Yes, we're dealing with the emotional pain. I can never change the emotional pain. But the financial pain on top of that is a double-edged sword, right? So if she had this type of policy with living benefits, that means that we would have been able to pay for the bills, because remember, she wasn't working during this time. Most of us, if we ever get a diagnosis like that, we're not going to be able to work. And you got to ask yourself, do you have 3 months, 6 months, a year worth of expenses, of savings, so that you can take care of your family if you ever got sick, right? A chronic illness, that means if you are unable to perform 2 out of 6 daily living activities. So what are the 6 daily living activities? The things that we take for granted, like bathing ourselves every day when we get up, right? Going to the bathroom, dressing yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't eat. meaning you can't even take, like, think about when you have a stroke, like what happened to Jamie Foxx, they literally had to learn how to walk and eat all over again. They couldn't even do things on their own. They needed medical care, right? Toileting and transferring, getting in and out of bed. So if you cannot perform 2 out of those 6 daily living activities that we all take for granted, right? But you know what? If we ever fell down the stairs and we broke some bones, and then you had to relearn how to walk, you understand what I'm talking about, right? So the insurance policy will pay the death benefit while you're alive. So at least now your family can be taken care of while you're trying to recuperate. Okay. Now, if you ever had a critical illness, so what is a critical illness? If you ever had ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease, if you ever had aortic graft surgery, if you ever had aplasmic anemia, if you ever became legally blind, because diabetes also affects your eyes too, right? Cancer, cystic fibrosis, end stage renal failure, which is kidney failure, which I think her name Rachel was talking about kidney dialysis, right? If that ever happened, guess what? Insurance policy will be able to accelerate the death benefit, right? Heart attack, like what happened to my father, or if you need a heart valve replacement, any major organ transplant, any motor neuron disease, if you suffered a stroke, like which also happened to my father, and even a sudden cardiac arrest. If you heard of LeBron James' son, LeBron James is a billionaire. His son, Ronnie James, he suffered at 18 a cardiac arrest. It can happen. It doesn't matter. And he goes to the gym and works out every single day. It does not discriminate against anybody. This can happen to anybody, okay? Also, if you had Alzheimer's or dementia, the insurance policy could pay out. I have a friend where her mother has Alzheimer's. You have to have 24/7 care because guess what? That's expensive. Imagine having a policy being able to pay for those the nurses that could come, or the what do they call the nurses' aides? I forgot to call them. The aides that can come to your home so you can have the care, and it costs a lot of money, right? And last but not least, if you ever had a critical injury, think about it. We're driving in our car, and then all of a sudden, boom, a drunk driver hits you, another driver hits you, and now you're in a coma, right? Or you have some kind of paralysis, right? Or if you're in a fire or something like that, severe burns. Or if you ever had a traumatic brain injury. I had a client that was literally coming down her stairs. Coming down her stairs, she slipped and fell. She slipped and fell, hit the back of her head so hard that she suffered a traumatic brain injury. And now, guess what? Because she had these living benefits, they were able to maintain. So this is the power of living benefits. And I'm telling you, you need this type of coverage.
All right, you have a hand up. Rachel wants to share. And let me see if there's something in the chat. Rachel, you ready?
Yeah, I am. Again, thank you for this because my my girlfriend's ex, remember I said he was in the hospital. It was he had a minor stroke. Now he's 45 years old, right? Had a minor stroke and he developed an aneurysm, right? And the aneurysm, he had 4 brain surgeries and they had to take a piece of his front lobe out. Thank God he didn't lose any no motor skills or memory after that surgery. However, now he can't get he can't get insurance because he's already in it. Or you can.
I can get him insurance. It's called guaranteed issue, where we can get him up to 25,000. Doesn't matter any of his medical conditions.
Okay.
But he has to be 50 years old.
He has to be 50. Okay. Yeah, he's not 50. And then also I wanted to put into the space to think about gun violence, any kind of violence. Families are being left without There's a lot of red tape when it comes to it. I work in a program that works with anti-gun violence organization, and there's a lot of red tape when it comes to burial assistance, and it's been a challenge with some families, and it's really disheartening that, and it's because statistically we don't think, myself included, we don't think we need it. Like, we're like, if we get it, we're setting ourselves up, we're jinxing ourselves, right? That energy. And so like, this conversation is so important. We're actually creating I should take your number. Are you in New York, based in New York?
Yes, I'm New York. I'm actually
We're
gonna put
actually
my
going to be
information
doing
back.
it's going to be called the Hood to Hood engagement. So we're going to go to the neighborhoods and have life insurance workshops within every neighborhood with the youth and the families that we know as under our program, right? And we're going to have them in their room because these conversations are extremely important and they're not being had.
Yep.
And yeah, and I'm complete. So please share
Thank
your contact information. I may
you.
not be on for the whole duration, but if you could just send your number in the text, that would be great.
Yep. I put it in the chat.
All right, awesome. And this will be dropped in again. You know, we always share how to be in touch with the facilitators. So Sierra will drop that into the chat. We have another hand. Beulah wants to share.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I believe it has to do with, I think, Medicaid. I believe in some states they allow incapacitated individuals to have family members to care for them, and the family members get paid for the being a caregiver. So that is kind of what's going on. I know there's some nonprofits out there that offer, that service and kind of guide you through the process for that. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not familiar, but anything that could help. But the thing is, I sell the insurance, right? And the thing is, a lot of people have the old type of insurance. So I'm trying to share with people getting the new type of insurance to make sure that you have the best coverage. So you're covered for everything that I mentioned, right? So that now, if God forbid any of those things ever happen, you have access to capital, okay? So you can pay for your mortgage or keep your business alive or keep your family in order. Because when you're sick, you can't work. Think about it. You
Right.
can't work. You're covered. But those
Right.
bills, they're going to keep coming. And if you don't have
Okay.
anything in place to
All
take care of
right.
that, trust me,
Okay.
that thing, the medical debt gets crazy and you don't have, so at least if you have this insurance, you can even pay for the medical debt. So you don't have to come
All
out and sell your home or
right.
sell your business or whatever the case may be. And your family doesn't suffer financially. Like what
All
happened to
right.
me.
All right.
All right. I
Thank
came in late, so I didn't get the full presentation
Okay.
here. So what type of insurance are you referring to?
So it's life insurance that has living benefits included.
That's like whole life?
No, it could be term, it could be whole life, it could be an index universal life, right? But all of those policies are going to have living benefits included. Because a lot of people only
Okay.
have death insurance. They don't have true life insurance, which happens if you get sick.
Yeah.
And this is available in all states.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I encourage you, Beulah, to reach out to David. He's giving his contact information so you can get more information. Today is a shorter session, so we're giving
All
like
right.
a shorter presentation around it. But definitely, he already dropped information about how to be in touch with him, and we'll drop it in again so that we can ensure that you can make those connections. So let me read really quickly the thread. Professor Marilyn said, healthcare is an industry and cancer treatment and fundraising nonprofits finance our state-of-the-art facilities without a rush to find the cure for the different types of cancer. And then Beulah just asked a question about the states and family members care, and you just responded. She was just saying that there are states where family members can care for their loved ones. And I mentioned that's definitely in New York. I know quite a few people who are being compensated for caring for loved ones who are experiencing illness. And I think that's a beautiful thing. But David is talking about more comprehensive coverage. That's just one aspect of it. So his information is dropped in the chat, so check it out. We'll drop it in again. Professor Mallon said financial literacy is the key to survival and ultimately abundance in this age. And then Chrissy said, this sounds familiar, meaning Rachel's share about the community organization, Hood to Hood. What was the organization? And she answered that it's True to Life in Staten Island, crisis management. What's the S for state? Rachel, I always forget.
Crisis management system.
System. Okay. I was going to say support. All right. And then contact information for David is dropped in once again. And Professor Marilyn said Medicare and Medicaid are health insurance with limits. Asia said some, we think we don't need it. And if we don't use it, we could have used that money. Is our money returned somehow if unused? Can we pay other bills, etc., with it, meaning the money that you put in to the insurance if you don't use it over the years? And then Marilyn said living benefits will pay for home care by professionals or relatives. And so David questioned about the money, like you putting it in, can you
So
tap?
if you don't use it, the good news is if you don't use it, it's not like you don't lose it, right? You just get the death benefit when you pass away. It's just giving you that flexibility that if you got sick, at least that death benefit could be used while you're alive and not have to wait while you pass away. So that now, if your final wishes were, while you're sick and you're on your deathbed, for lack of better words, you can say, you know what? I want to make sure the house is paid off. I want to make sure this is paid off, or whatever you want to do. Or you want to give money to whoever, your kids or your whatever, pay for this college to make your final wishes, right? Or if you want to say, you know what? I know the doctor said I got 24 months to live. I want to travel the world before I pass. You go on a cruise or these type of things are done. Or you could pay for medical. You can use so many things. It's not just for one thing, but I'm telling you, to have the money when you need it, trust me, you'll be thanking me when you say, wow, if you ever had that situation and you can't pay, and now you're like, where is this money going to come from? And now you're stressing. You know what? When you're in that, thinking about when you're trying to recuperate, and now you got to think about the money aspect. I think that's the reason why a lot of people start passing away, because they're like, man, I got to think about this bill. You got people don't even want to take an ambulance, right? Because this is going to be a bill, right? But when you have that covered, it's peace of mind. And all you got to do is worry about your recovery.
Yes.
Okay. And I want to read something too, right? Which will kind of help with some of this. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say we're going to hear from Evelyn after you read this, and then we'll be prepared to close out. It's 7:40. So Evelyn, just hold on a second. David, you wanted to read something you said, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the Power Living benefits on my Instagram. So there was a 6-year-old girl, because you can get insurance on children as well, right? With living benefits, who got diagnosed with a brain tumor last year. Okay, can you imagine a 6-year-old girl getting diagnosed with a brain tumor last year? The doctor said that she only had 6 to 9 months to live. Okay, luckily, she had one of our life insurance policies and was able to accelerate, which means get access to the death benefit while she was alive. And the parents, because they got access to the death benefit while she was alive, they were able to quit their jobs to take care of their daughter in her last months, right? Because you got to think about it, to take care, because people's like, oh, we can have family and relatives take care of us. But remember, most of us have jobs. And if you're going to take care of somebody, that means you have to give up your job in order to take care. And if you give up your job, what else are you giving up? Your income. So is it really feasible to care for somebody if you're working yourself? Now, if you're not working, that's a whole different story. But most of us are, right? And you have to make a hard choice. But long story short, right? Because they were able to get the death benefit while they were alive. They were able to take their 6-year-old daughter to Disney World and travel the country, right? Because her parents were there while she was going through this. Guess what? Then they found out that her tumors were shrinking and she's going back to school. And we showed a check where the family got $450,961. That $450,000 death benefit that was accelerated is the reason why they were able to take off from their jobs to care for their daughter. And because that love that was in the building and they were there during that time, the girl's tumors were able to actually go away. I hope I didn't come in frozen.
Yeah, the your image got a little choppy. So we're gonna but you're good. We can hear you clearly. So Evelyn has her hand up and then we'll start to close out. So Evelyn, you ready?
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Can you? My question is there a time frame for this type of insurance? I know some policies when you receive them, uh they don't really kick in until after like 2 years. You have to have the policy for a full 2 years before if anything happens to you and you can use it. So with this policy that you're speaking of, is that the same or is it immediate?
So and I want to make sure we're clear because if I'm hearing you correctly, right, you're saying that because there are policies that's called guaranteed issue that you would have to wait for the death benefit to kick in,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now, that's a guaranteed issue policy. The type of policies I'm selling, if you qualify, are going to be policies that you have immediate coverage starting day one.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
I actually had a client that basically got the policy, and within 2 months of getting the policy, she had some, I think, kidney problems. And basically, she called and made a claim being that the doctor diagnosed her with this kidney issue. And basically, the death benefit was accelerated, right? Based on the diagnosis, which they were able to help care her.
All right. Thank you.
You have day one coverage.
Good day.
All righty. There's a little bit of a connectivity issue, but it's more visual than sound oriented. So we're gonna read the chat and then put up the closing slides. And Sierra, it would be great to have your support with the closing slides. That'll help me with my transition over here. So thank you for the support. Professor Marilyn said, let me see some other pieces here. There was a question about knowing the rates of return on cash value of the policy that was asked by Zawadi. And then Professor,
Yeah.
Go ahead, David. You can answer.
So it all depends on which policy you're getting. So if you're getting a whole life policy, the rate of return, those are guaranteed rates. You're getting anywhere between 4% and 6% interest, compounded interest. If you're getting an index universal life policy, you can earn up to 9.5% interest, which is way better than the banks.
Mhm. Okay, awesome. So, I don't know if there is anything else to be shared. This is very valuable information as I was listening. A lot came up for me in reference to my own situation. I have insurance, but these living benefits, this is something that I absolutely want to look into and to create more coverage and security for myself and then also for my family, because the family members are left if something happens to you, to me. We pray that we have family members that will step in and we don't want to create stress and strain on them. So, David, any final comments before we go into your closing slides?
Well, I have a saying, there was a quote that says, what does it benefit a man that they will insure everything. They'll insure their house, they'll insure their cars, they'll insure their phones. But guess who's the biggest asset? You. But yet we won't insure our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my closing statement. I hope that you guys make the time, get an appointment with me, and I'll definitely get you all set up. I'll do a free policy review to make sure that you have policies with living benefits. And I complete.
Ashe. All right, special offer is here. So, David, you want to say more about this?
Yeah, so if you email me here, I'll accept your email where you can just email me. I have questions, do policy reviews. You can upgrade your, or some people are underinsured. I had a gentleman yesterday. Yes, he had coverage, but he had two properties and he was underinsured, so he needed more coverage. And I gave him better coverage than what he had with his other insurance. So, you know, everybody's situation is going to be unique, but when we meet, I'll be able to give you professional advice for your situation.
Thank you. All right, contact information. Can you share more about how folks can be in touch with you? I know we dropped some in, but we just want to repeat for those who weren't in here earlier.
So you can either call me at 781-6428, right? Or, I'm on Facebook. You can check my Instagram at proven_winners. My email is provenwinnersfinancialgroup@gmail.com. My website is david.myverifiedadvisor.com. And it's also in the chat. And I also have a YouTube channel called Love and Legacy, which March 30th, we'll be talking about some things there as well.
Beautiful.
Via Zoom.
Okay. Next slide. So, family, we always have this rich experience in the Wake Up Everybody space. We learn all of these tools, some that we can apply directly, others that are about our growth and development and our preparation for the future. This experience today has been very eye-opening. And if you follow up, then you'll be able to set yourselves up powerfully so that you can have more coverage and security for yourself. And then also, once again, relief of the stress, strain, and trauma that comes with navigating whatever condition you might have, a situation that might occur, and also mitigate the stress and strain that comes with having to care for things financially and be pulled in all these different directions. So I'm saying all this to say that the Wake Up Everybody virtual community is the gift that keeps on giving. And so we encourage everyone to pour into this space by giving love offerings. Whatever the amount, it doesn't matter. It's about the energy and the exchange. And if enough of us gave small amounts to this community, then we would be able to cover all of the infrastructural things that make it go and flow. That's all it's about, infrastructure. No one gets paid. We're all volunteers. But the infrastructure, the Zoom, the e-blast platform, the automated texting, like those systems, we want to make sure that we cover and have support with. So thank you in advance for those who will give, and thank you to everyone who does give monthly to this sacred space so that we can continue going and flowing each day. I'm complete. And who is up next is our beloved sister, Catherine Sweetness Jennings. And her topic for tomorrow is Staying Too Long Where You Don't Belong. All right, connecting the dots, part two. So clearly there was a part one. So if you were in here, you already know where she's going. And if you weren't, you can catch up. So join us tomorrow for that amazing message. And guess what, y'all? In a few days, we will be celebrating our fifth anniversary for the Wake Up Everybody virtual community. Can you believe it? And our topic or theme for this year, this fifth year, is living in 5D, ascending to a higher consciousness. So 5D, the D stands for dimension, right? So we're going to these next levels, these next dimensions. David is supporting us with doing that with what he shared today, and Catherine will support us tomorrow. And so it's been 5 years of learning, growing, and transforming in this space. And Wake Up has sprouted wings, and we're flying high. So join us on Saturday. That's our actual anniversary day. So it's not our regular Sunday through Thursday schedule, but all day Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. we'll be in the space. So register to join us on the journey, and we'll have amazing folk that are prepared to share messages that are going to elevate us and take us to the next level. 5D, baby. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom and on Facebook. Look forward to seeing you there. And the Woo Nation welcomes all new members. So if you're new, whether it's on Facebook new or if you're new in the Zoom space, we thank you for being here, and we're committed in this space, as I said earlier, to learn, elevate, and ascend. And if you come here for the first time, you're automatically a member. Your family already to us. So keep coming back. The Woo Nation needs you, and you need us. And you'll discover how much as we continue to be with you as you continue to come back. So thank you. Contact and structure. So we're here 5 days a week, y'all, Sunday through Thursday. And Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday are 90-minute sessions. Monday and Wednesday are 30-minute sessions. Today we went longer because the conversation was juicy. And we get to say how that goes in this space because this is our space that we created. If you want to be reminded of the sessions, you can be reminded through automated texting. Some of you already receive automated text in the morning for Woo Nation inviting you in. So you can um, send a text to this number here, 74121. It's just like a phone number, and you can text Woo Nation in all caps, and then we'll add you to the automated texting. If you want to stop it, you're like, oh, I'm tired of being woken up out of my sleep in the morning. All you have to do on that same thread where you receive the text is just type stop and then press send. It's that simple. You don't have to be upset. You don't have to leave, wake up. Just type in word stop, press send, and it will take you off the texting thread, and you don't have to worry about it. And if you want to come back, you can just reboot it and use the number. Next slide. And we want to encourage you to keep coming back, to stay connected and in tune. And these are the ways to do it. We have a registration link that allows you to receive e-blasts and it announces who's coming up next for Wake Up Week. And then Facebook, join us on our private and public pages so you can keep up. You have access to all the recordings. You can be in communication with community members and facilitators. Instagram, follow us there. YouTube, we're cooking with Grease, and Sierra, who's in here today with me with admin, is supporting us with putting the content up so that you can have access to these hundreds. Like we're up to 1,334 today. So she's supporting us with being able to access the content from the 5 years of work we've been doing together. And also we have an email address. You can send messages, suggestions, recommendations for facilitators at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. And I'm complete. And what we're going to do, Sierra, if you can take the spotlight off of David, and we're going to still focus on him, but we're going to go into gallery view and we're going to unmute as a community so we can thank David for all of the amazing information that he has shared since he's been part of this community and what he shared today. So please, y'all, unmute yourselves and give David some love and appreciation for what he's provided.
Thank you, David.
Thank you so much for what you
Thank you.
have imparted to us. Where's everybody else? Sierra, can you invite
Thank you so much, David.
Yes, come on, y'all.
This
Y'all
is
better use your
fabulous.
voices.
Thank you, thank you.
This is great information
Thanks
at
a lot.
the crack of
Thanks a
dawn,
lot.
basically.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank
while
you.
he's in the
Thank
paradise,
you.
he's sharing this. He's in paradise.
Right.
He's a
I was
tornado.
checking out that background, my
David
brother.
is
Yes.
living the best life.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Bless you. Bless you.